This is Josh on the right and Evelyn on the left. This is my final and fourth persuasive speech. You walk out the door and breathe a sigh of relief. This was the most important interview of your life. This was what you spent all those years and all that money on studying. You were well prepared, dressed to perfection, and ready for any question that they threw at you. With your qualifications and your confidence, you were sure that they would pick you. Days passed without a word, so you decided to give them a call. They said they'd let you know by the end of the next week. The end of the next week comes and goes. Still no word. Why haven't they called? Why haven't they at least told you not to waste your time waiting if they're going to pick someone else? Finally, you see an email apologizing that they didn't pick you. Although you were the most qualified, they would have picked you, but they have rules to abide by. Dress code. No tattoos can be shown in the workplace. Why wouldn't they tell you that when you called before? Despite the praise they were giving you, you weren't even worth a phone call. It hits you. They're discriminating against your self-expression. This thought hadn't even crossed your mind, since it has nothing to do with your abilities, your skills, or your knowledge. Now you have to face your entire family, your mom and your dad, and tell them you didn't get your dream job, that you're a failure. And when they ask why, you'll have to tell them that it's something you can't change about yourself. Tattoos are permanent after all. There's nothing you can do about it. Imagine feeling that way, finally getting that degree. All the hard work paid off, and you were ready and excited for the next chapter of your life. Only now, you're not sure that that'll ever come. All because a company wouldn't accept the way you look. What would you do in a situation like this? What if you were denied because of something you can't even change, that has nothing to do with the way you work? Would you think it's fair? I didn't when it happened to me. Believe it or not, this is a true story. Sure, maybe you personally don't have any tattoos, but think about your loved ones, your son or your daughter, your best friend or your sibling. What if they were treated that way? Wouldn't you be upset? Does that automatically make them a bad person or a bad worker? As you can tell, I have many tattoos myself, some of which you can't even see. I have them everywhere, but if you know me, you know that I'm a very hardworking individual. I've been a part of the workforce for 6+ years. I've had a full-time job and a part-time job and studied college courses full-time, and I continue to do so. It took me years to find a job in my career field. I became so frustrated that in my interviews, at the end when they asked me if I had any questions, I asked them what their dress code was, knowing that wasn't a good question to ask. I just wanted to get it over with and prepare myself for the disappointment. I was denied so many times, I almost gave up completely. Tattoos shouldn't deem someone unprofessional or undeserving of a job. It has nothing to do with work ethic. I'm hoping that you'll join me in fighting the stigma against tattoos in the workplace. A large number of employers said that tattoos will affect their decision in the hiring process. It can be beneficial for you to overlook tattoos when you're hiring someone. If you don't, you could be depriving yourself of valuable skills that could help your team. You're also likely going to regret it, as you're going to have a smaller number of people to choose from, making it more difficult. Many employers say that tattoos matter in the hiring process. According to Workopolis.com, 77% of employers will or might be less likely to hire you if you have tattoos. I've come across a few reasons why people may feel that way. According to ProjectCensor.org, some well-known companies such as SeaWorld, Walt Disney World, and even Walmart have implemented policies that require you to tattoos that are offensive or distracting. My question is, what defines a tattoo as offensive or distracting? There are lots of distractions at work, such as your cell phone, an attractive coworker, or a TV playing a movie in the waiting room lobby. Yet we allow these things in the workplace. Why is that? Because you expect to have hired responsible adults that are going to get their job done. Why should we be treating someone else's body art as such a distraction? Good employees won't be distracted by such mediocre things. They will stay focused and get their tasks completed. What makes a tattoo offensive? Sure, there are certain explicit words and images that would be inappropriate to show, but on the other hand, some people get offended by people's religion or people's race. Does that make it right? No, you can't please everyone. Dana Wilkie from Society for Human Resource Management, an organization that focuses on workplace issues, wrote an article regarding what an applicant's tattoos may do to an employer. In her article, she speaks about Chris Henley, an associate professor at Colorado State University's College of Business. He speaks of the age-old tradition that tattoos associate a person with bikers, gangs, or prisoners. He claims that people still rely on these stereotypes today, which I can vouch is true, as I've been through it myself. Well, traditions don't last forever. Old traditions are old. They're meant to be changed, and that's what I'm fighting for. But we don't discriminate against people because of other stereotypes, such as gender, when people used to say that women belonged in a kitchen, or religion. So it doesn't make sense that we would discriminate against someone because of tattoos. I think we can all agree that discrimination is wrong, and we do our part each day to fight against it. Discriminating against potential candidates could negatively affect you at work, even if you're not the one hiring people. Don't you want strong, productive, and committed workers at your job? Clearly, people with tattoos are not afraid of commitment. Chris Jackson from Ipsos, the third largest global market research company, speaks of a study they performed where 4 out of 10 Americans under the age of 35 have tattoos. Individuals 35 and under make up 34% of America's workforce, according to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics. Young people like us are the future of America. It doesn't sound like a good idea to disqualify that many people. Say you are the hiring manager. Would you really want to deprive your office, your staff, or yourself of skills that could possibly help your operations? They could just go to a competitor, and who knows, maybe they do so well that they score that contract and they make them a lot of money. That could have been you. Most likely, you're looking for someone with a college degree. Well, guess what? According to historyoftattoos.net, 30% of all college graduates have tattoos. Why would you further limit yourself? You would be missing out on a large portion of people that are able and willing to work. Personally, I've been praised at my job as the most motivated and productive person in my position. They've trained me to back up other individuals for when they're absent, when they're sick, or on vacation. That was not initially a part of my position, but I did so well that they wanted me to learn more. They would have missed out if they didn't hire me because of my tattoos. Another example of a very successful tattooed person is Brian Grasso. According to mensjournal.com, Grasso is founder and former CEO of IYCA, the International Youth Conditioning Association, which is a huge international corporation. Just because you have tattoos doesn't mean you can't be hugely successful and professional. There's not truly any specific way that a professional should look. We all are different. Finally, I hope that I've convinced you one way or another to join me on my mission to rid the world of this tattoo stigma. When we were children, we were taught not to judge a book by its cover. Why are we straying from that belief? I guarantee it'll benefit all of us in the long run if we give people chances to join the workforce. We'll have greater physical diversity and skill diversity being brought to the table. Tattoos do not define a person's strengths or their weaknesses. Whether it be for more selfish reasons, to help yourself with their skills at work, or to simply make the world a better, more accepting place, I hope that you'll take this information and share it with your friends and your family, and we can work together to fight against tattoo discrimination at the workplace. My tattoos do not make me unworthy.